Welcome to the Wildcast podcast, coming to you from Wildcast Studios with your hosts Adam Lund and Jeremy Boucher.
Oh, welcome back and welcome into the studio to your final playoff episode of the Wildcast podcast, your unofficial voice for all things Moncton Wildcats. Much to the chagrin of a few people out there, I am not alone today. I am joined as always, well, first of all, as always, I am Adam Lund, and I am joined by my and your favorite, well, some people's favorite co-hosters, Mass Singer aficionado, Hell's Kitchen aficionado, Big Brother aficionado, Poutine Fest grand prize winner, Mr. Jeremy Boucher. Mr. Boucher, welcome back.
Thank you so much. Glad to be back. Sorry for all those who were looking forward to hearing my voice last week. I was a little under the weather, non-COVID related. So that is very good news. And yes, I know there was a few people who made comments that they preferred Adam's show by himself last week. So I do apologize to those individuals who have to hear my voice again. The only way you're getting rid of me is in a body bag.
Legit, because I went upstairs and I'm like, I don't like that anymore. That was not fun. I mean, it was kind of a little fun, I guess, to go back kicking it old school the way I used to do it, but when you're used to talking to yourself, Chris, for almost 3 years now, not having somebody to bounce ideas off, it takes a bit. And I can only talk about TV shows by myself for so long, right? Like, I only know a few. So we'll just jump right into that. We talked a lot. We'll just quickly recap it. Corey was the eventual winner. You did pick that. Mm-hmm. Like I said last week, she just her leadership just took over. And I guess I have no doubts that Mary Lou will find herself in the Gordon Ramsay future if she wanted it.
Yeah. She's a bright future. Still don't. I think they did an update. Her and Corey, not Cody. Her and Cody. There's a little update about them on the Hell's Kitchen Instagram page. Oh, so I won't ruin it if you want to check it out there. It's pretty good. Yeah. There's other. I saw you want to talk about this Young Gun show.
Yeah, have you seen did you see the debut or the preview of it? I guess
I saw the previews. I'll give it a chance.
Everyone I kind of wonder, like, it's easy to yell at adults, and it's his kids, so it's different. But when he cooks with kids, he's so good with them.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is going to be, from what I've seen in a few years and watching this full season, Gordon Ramsay's turned to 11 when he gets in that kitchen on service night. I feel like this will be Gordon Ramsay at like 8.
What is it? Is it under 23?
Under 23, yeah.
Well,
so 18 to 23, I would imagine.
Still adults. I'd be yelling at them too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'd be like a loose cannon. Like you can't just. It makes sense if it's Hell's Kitchen kids or Master Chef kids. Be easy on them, but 18 to 23, these are adults. Just give them hell.
All right, people missed your Big Brother updates. You said just before we jumped on here, my random pick, Tara, seems to be making things happen. So what do you got for us?
Yeah, so brief recap of the past couple of weeks. So last week was a fake double eviction. So you had Jedson was evicted, and as he walked out of the house, there was someone sitting there with like a sign that says, "Shh, you're still in the game," and they let him into some secret room.
Oh, okay.
And immediately after that, Rissa comes on and says, this is a double eviction. And they're like, oh my God. Anyway, so they have a household, they have a power veto, and another eviction. Tara is evicted, and as she walks out of the house, this person's sitting there with a sign saying, shh, you're still in the game. So she then goes into the same room with Jedson, and she apologizes to Jedson because she voted for him to be evicted, and she was just playing, doing the whole damage control.
Yeah.
So turns out her and Jedson had to compete in a little competition to see which one would go back into the house. Tara won, and so she went back into the house.
Nice.
And it was absolute chaos because everybody said, well, Jedson's like a comp beast, so there's no way that Tara's gonna. No way Tara's going to beat a comp beast, and so she beats a comp beast. So her resume is getting up there.
What's a comp beast? Like someone who's really good competition?
Competition beast, okay,
yeah.
So to say that she helped her resume is starting to stack up because she can say that she evicted Jedson twice.
Nice.
Because Jedson was a favorite to win the game. So right now we're at Final Four. Last week there was Braden was the head of household, and he nominated Beth and Tara.
Yep.
Braden won the power veto, so he had a household power veto, kept his nominations the same. Beth was evicted. So now they're the Final Four. There's Kiefer, there's Tashawn, there is Beth, and Tara. Yeah, so that's Final Four. Head of household competition is this evening. Obviously, I already know who won because I've been reading on the spoilers. But the live feeds,
You got to stay off the spoilers,
I know,
bro.
The live feeds have been turned off because the finale is this Thursday night.
Okay.
So we will find out who the big winner of Big Brother Canada is this Thursday night. So it's gonna be good.
All right, our final show. So a quick shout out, thanks QMJHL for allowing us to have a hockey season to finish off 2 TV shows. I don't know if we'll get the third one, but this is unprecedented time. Masked Singer, I messaged you. It was a karaoke event, which seems kind of silly because every week seems to be a karaoke week. I didn't really watch it. There was no elimination, so I didn't really watch it. I guess I'll just ask you. You heard me talk last week. I kind of am coming around to the Hanson. I'm still holding out hope that the Russian dolls are 98 degrees, and then I kind of figured Piglet could be Nick Lachey.
Yes.
So then my mind the other day was like, what if it's the other 3 that are the dolls, and it's Nick that's the Piglet, and it's all 4 of them in the show? I don't know. Who knows? What are your thoughts? What do you gave me a clue that I was kind of getting close with Piglet.
Yes, because on last week's show there was a clue that said something about 3,000 something
3,700
rushing yards per game, or I don't know, something like that. It was anyways, if you took that number and basically flipped it to yardage, it was 98 yards. 98 degrees. So I think it's Nick Lachey. It could very well be his brother, Drew. I think is
Drew. Yeah, I was like, what's his brother's name?
Drew Lachey. So it's definitely one of the Lacheys. I'm just not. I don't know. I think it's Nick.
Yeah,
I think it's Nick.
Well, you were kind of on the boy band. It was one of the boy bands. Whether it was
AJ. I think I said AJ McLean or Nick Lachey. I'm going with Nick Lachey. Russian Dolls of Hanson. Like, I'll just sit here and say Hanson for every day. So,
I think Black Swan is JoJo.
Yeah.
I've
been coming on to that one too. So yeah, the last week's episode wasn't much. It was just a Maskey award, and I never watched it. It was straight up boring. So back to the singing this week.
Thank goodness. So we'll see. I don't know how many more shows we got in this, but we'll see. I don't think we'll get to the end of the Masked Singer, so we should go 2 for 3 on shows this week. As always, you can follow us on Twitter, Moncton Wildcast, Instagram, Wildcast Podcast. Again, on TikTok. I don't know how many TikToks I'm going to be doing, but you can follow us, and you can hit the like and subscribe button here on YouTube. Quick question. So the 2021 Memorial Cup is slated to be
2022.
Here. 2022. Damn typo. Slated to be here in the QMJHL. And we heard Courteau talk about it on 31 Thoughts podcast. Who would your front runner be to host? I mean, we heard before all this COVID that it was St. John, it was Quebec. I saw you on Twitter. I can't remember who you retweeted saying, if Shawinigan's all in, you're in to go back there again, as you made some very good friends. Met your dad there.
That's right. Robbie Falls.
Like, what team do you see as a legitimate Mem Cup host? Because if I'm basing between St. John and Quebec, I think St. John's got more work than they've let on that they're going to need. They need quite a big overhaul. Mm-hmm. And as a host, it's a little easier to get in, but you want to make sure you're getting to that final, getting a championship. So I don't know St. John's whole plan from day one of this rebuild was for the 2022 Memorial Cup, and based on this season, I'm not sure how they got a lot of work to get there.
They really do. It's going to be a tough call. I would I think I'm not sure if it was Jamie Tozer interviewed Trevor Georgie, but there was talks that financially, I don't think St. John's going to be able to step up to the plate and make a bid. So if St. John's off the table, then you got to look at Quebec. They've got the rink, they've got the hotels, they've got everything in that city to host. Shawinigan, I would absolutely love to go back to Shawinigan. That was an absolute gong show of a 10 days there in 2012. Part of me wants to say maybe Charlottetown. This is a team that's never made a Q final, but and all of a sudden you step up and you want to host the Memorial Cup. You're automatically got your bid in. They're looking pretty good for next year already on paper.
Mm-hmm.
They'll need to get another goaltender. I don't really trust Jacob Gooby running with it in Charlottetown for next season. I don't know, man. It's. I think it'll come down to Quebec.
Would Blainville be a nice little sleeper? They've kind of built a pretty good team, but I don't know what they have for hotels and arena structure.
I mean,
right?
they've got a good rink. They've got a lot of hotels around there, but they're kind of in a situation where, they're kind of looking good this year. I don't know if they'll have it in them to get another year next year. I think they might even sell off next year.
And Gatineau was just 1 year too late, right? Gatineau's kind of going in for 2023.
Yeah, because
if you host, you can kind of expedite that and kind of buy, and you're guaranteed to go in, right?
Gatineau's a tough one because on the back end that's probably only going to be a 2-year player in the queue.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, he's a highly touted defenseman. He's played this year. He'll play next year. He'll be a high pick probably in the NHL draft in 2022. So I don't know if he'll be back. He probably will be. But I just think, for them to go and load up for next season with they basically have a Memorial Cup with a bunch of 17-year-olds. Which would not look very good. So, Quebec, Shawinigan, Charlottetown, St. John, those are my guesses.
Those are pretty good guesses. I mean, it's an interesting question, and it's we heard it for year after year after year. St. John had a plan. They were putting a plan together. They were getting all these free agents and getting guys to report, and now, they look like they're just kind of in a. What do we do? Do we rebuild this whole thing again? Do we retool it quickly? So I kind of feel like Quebec is the team, between Quebec and Shawinigan to host it if it's one of those teams. And Shawinigan's got the goaltending in the back end. They've got Maverick Bork. I don't think he'll be going to.
No,
I don't think he's.
Next
I
year.
don't even think he's signed. Is he?
I think he's signed.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah.
But They tried to add Forte, but he was gone this year. But they still have pieces that they can add.
Oh yeah,
they
look really good. They're going to be a serious contender next year. They're probably.
How big is that rink?
Shawinigan?
Yeah.
3,500. So it's a smaller venue, but the atmosphere.
I do remember watching it. It was crazy.
Oh, the atmosphere is friggin' ridiculous.
All right,
those are my air horns, by the way.
Nice. Yeah, no, we'll keep that soundbite for future shows. But all right, let's get to news and notes from around the queue.
News and notes from around the queue.
Speaking of Shawinigan, professional transition by both of us here from a team that could host the Memorial Cup next year to a team that was bounced in Game 5, a shutout by Rimouski. Creed Jones took him higher. A little bit of a redemption story for him after being quarantining, then in Rimouski, then quarantining in St. John, then going back to Rimouski, quarantine or wherever he came from for St. John, just quarantine after quarantine. For him to shut out St. John or Shawinigan and get Rimouski on to round 2, I mean, that's just good on him. He deserves every part of that win.
Oh yeah, I didn't. Not a lot of people saw that one coming.
Nope.
Considering Rimouski was without Balduc the entire series.
Yeah,
and he's their go-to guy. So that was a huge surprise. I don't think we're going to see another one. Honestly, I haven't been paying much attention to the Quebec.
The Quebec side?
Yeah,
It's kind of like the NHL. Like, I have no idea what's going on in the other 3 divisions other than the North.
Mhm.
Like, I just, you see a few highlights. So right now it's Charlottetown versus Bathurst, which we know.
Right.
We'll get into that. Surprise guest coming up. Rimouski's got to slay the dragon in Val-d'Or. Victoriaville was moved on. Chicoutimi moved on. Blainville is up 2-1 on Gatineau, and I believe they play tonight as we record,
Right.
which is Monday. And then they play again Wednesday night to end for Game 5, I guess, of that series.
So is that the only series that's left?
Yeah, because
Okay.
Quebec swept Drummondville. So Blainville's up 2-1 on Gatineau. So if Gatineau gets a victory tonight or Monday night when you listen to this, Wednesday's Game 5, we could have two potential upsets.
There we go.
Yeah.
Perfect. Fun. Yeah. This is why playoffs are awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, Rimouski, I think your road's going to come to an end.
I would.
Against Val-d'Or, and we'll wait to make the other predictions. Yeah, because they won't start again till when? That won't start this weekend, I don't think. Would they?
I would guess if
Yeah.
another part of the news
it is only Monday.
Yeah, the rest of the queue now will play in Quebec, at the Videotron Center. So I mean, they potentially could start a couple of those series this weekend.
Mhm.
We don't know if Charlottetown and Bathurst are going to be in Quebec or if they're going to play on the island first. But I mean, yeah, they could go as early as Monday, I guess, or Saturday.
I keep forgetting. I'm so lost track of my days right now, man. Like,
Yeah.
this is stupid COVID.
Stupid COVID. What else we got for news here? Oh yeah, the Quebec. We saw a goalie goal. Quebec, as they swept Drummondville. Thomas again with the goal, and I don't know French. Can't read it. I did translate an article, and I can't think of the play-by-play guy's name for the Drummondville Vulture. It's escaping me right now, but he just took a boatload of harsh, completely unfair criticism for not being excited for a goalie goal. And that's something for fans to get excited about. And I know, announcers, you're not going to see that all the time, but I mean, this guy's been the announcer for, I think, 12 or 13, 8 or 10, I don't know, many, many years, more than at least 8, I think. You can't go after, God, social media sucks sometimes. Just complete unfair criticism for a guy whose team was just swept. Sorry for not being excited, right?
Well, yeah, it really does. It was a little silly that took some criticism. I mean, the team you call is being eliminated, and a goalie just scored against you. I mean, are you really going to be jacked up for that? But then you turn over and you get the Quebec feed, and they were absolutely loving it.
Yeah.
I think Denis LeBlanc tweeted out the Quebec announcers. They're going nuts, and so it's just the change in.
And then they eventually took the video down because of all the criticism that Drummondville guy was getting. And I can't find his name, and it's really bugging me.
Is it Beaulieu? I think I forget what it is, but yeah, I know he's took a lot of heat, and just not. It wasn't right, It's because it was picked up by a lot of news, TSN, Sportsnet, and that's where the heat came from, right? Is just those idiot hockey fans that are like, oh, that's what they sound like.
Guys that couldn't do his job on his worst day. They couldn't do his job. The team of the week for the QMJHL, Theo Rochette for the Rempart, 3 games, 1 goal, 5 assists. Matthew Degagne for Bathurst, 3 games, 2 goals, 4 assists. And our Connor Richards.
Richards, yeah.
Connor Richards.
It must be the nephew of Brad Richards.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? He was calling him Richard. He just kept calling him Richard, and I'm just like, that's... I just kept thinking first name. So Connor Richard, 1 goal, 4 assists. Defenseman Jeremy Biaka-Patuka for Rimouski, 3 games, 2 goals, 2 assists. Miguel Turngay for Blainville, 3 games, 2 goals, 3 assists. And goaltender Thomas Seguin. 3 wins, 2.2 goals against average, a .940 winning percentage. So that is your team of the week for this week. Nice to see us represented one final time. Let's get into the Weekly Rewind.
Weekly Rewind.
Yeah. That's it. That's all for the playoffs. They've come to an end for the Moncton Wildcats. Like I said on a few of the post-game shows, a post away. Away from having a chance to win in their in on Sunday, but it was not to be. So we'll recap some of these games. Last Wednesday, the Wildcats came in down 0-2 on the road. They treated it like they needed to win. Actually, they were 1-2 by that time. And what an unbelievable hockey game against Bathurst last Wednesday. It's crazy. They just didn't start on time, took their time, and slowly kind of kept chipping away at the lead. And, when they took that, we talked about it many times, you had to play discipline. You had to be disciplined, especially against Bathurst, who was killing us on the power play. Ben MacArthur got that power play goal to make it 4-2 or 3-2.
3-1.
3-2. Yep.
3-2.
We'll get it. It's long. It's a COVID week. 3-2, and I'm not gonna lie, I thought that was curtains. You take I think it was too many men on the ice, which is just a dumb penalty for lack of better terms. It's your miscommunication on the bench. They make us pay, and I won't lie. I thought that was it. That was over. The end of our playoffs, right then and there, and then our captain doing what our captain does.
Well, I thought it was over when Iasenza took that penalty with about 7 or 8 minutes left in the third. I think it was.
Yeah.
Was that? Am I correct when I say that?
Yep.
Iasenza. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. 13. Actually, no. What was it? Offsetting?
Nope. Oh yeah, it was offsetting.
No, Moncton actually had a power play to that one. Not bad. That's my bad. I thought that was my bad.
You might have been talking about last night.
Yeah. My bad. So yeah, let's get to that, because that was the craziest 2 minutes of hockey that I can remember for a very long time. It literally seemed as if Lynn Cornish gets to the bench, Hudson comes on. I think Lynn Cornish might have been on the bench for maybe 3 seconds.
Yeah, Hudson went right to the net.
Yeah, he knew exactly where to go. It's like the puck followed him there. With you tie the game up and there's still, a minute in at this point, a minute and probably 30, 39. Maybe my math is terrible, but you're thinking
we're going to overtime.
We're going overtime.
Yeah.
But then it's just what happened next.
16 seconds later
was just that was. For an arena that only had 2,200 people in there, place was going nuts.
Oh, it sounded
It sounded like it was a full house of 8,000 people, and that was really, really nice. Really, really cool to hear. And it shouldn't have been like that. It was just such a soft play by Bathurst, and if they're going to play that soft, if they're playing for overtime, take advantage.
100%.
And that's what Moncton did. And then Richard scores 16 seconds later, and then you're like, okay, well, a minute and a half, you get a 1-goal lead, still plenty of time. And
don't go into a shell. Don't go into a shell.
Exactly.
Don't go into a shell.
Don't
because their goalie's coming out.
They pulled it off. And that was probably one of the craziest atmospheres that I've seen in quite some time.
I got about yay high off my seat when Hudson scored. I just come right up, and I had to catch myself because I didn't want to go over the seat in front of me. But it was just, that's one of the crazier games I've seen, and it was not quite as loud as the Pelche goal last year, but it was loud for 2,200 people.
Like that's when I say atmosphere, like that's right up there with that Rimouski game. Yeah, but 2,200 people making that much noise, that was really good to hear. That was awesome.
And that gave us that tied everyone at 2-2. And in the post game show, I said if you'd asked this group with 2 games left in a whatever type of playoffs you're going to get, you have a chance. that's exactly what they want. They went into Bathurst on Saturday night, had a lead, took a 3-1 lead into or 3-2 lead into the second. I mean, I don't know about you, but are you feeling 22? I'm on TikTok too much. Their second periods so far in the playoffs have been much better after the first two games. Their second periods actually became exciting to watch. They got that they had a 3-1 lead. Jackson Bellamy getting the goal 3-2, and then it just Anthony Hamel with the tip with about a minute or 10 minutes left in the second period, and you kind of felt that this game was going to overtime. That was the night that Iasenza had a tough night, taking a few penalties, but totally redeeming himself.
Oh God, yeah.
Scoring 2 goals. If you're gonna take penalties, we'll get into things next week about the team and what we're looking for next year. But you gotta just skate away sometimes. He took that early roughing penalty and then comes right off the bench, puts the puck in the net. And then sadly, our hearts were broken in double overtime as Ben Allison sent Bathurst to the round 2 against Charlottetown. I mean, so many chances in overtime.
Yeah, but you know what? You said it right. You said, this team got, 2 more wins than most people expected them probably to win.
Yep.
When we had Jamie on the show a couple of weeks ago, we said, we were all 3 of us said that we thought Bathurst was going to win this, and they did. So that's not to say that, and deep down that Jamie wanted the Sea Dogs to win, and you know, as his tweet said last night, provincial silver medalists.
That was good.
That was a really good.
That was good.
I was a huge fan.
Yeah.
So as much as that double overtime goal hurt, it was also like it was you came out with it as a sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
There was no reason for them to be down on themselves. Obviously to have to come back and play, the next night in, people were calling it a meaningless game. Was it a meaningless game? Technically, yes.
In the standings, yes, but
for the players, it wasn't.
Yeah, especially the 20s.
Yeah, they proved that
on both sides.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
They proved that they they wanted to be there, and there's nothing to be ashamed about. It's if this was last season, and Bathurst would have scored a double overtime game-winning goal, I probably would have let out a few F-bombs. But this was just like it was like, because they worked so hard to get where they were, and there's absolutely nothing to be ashamed about. Like you've got arguably, if you can get someone on your team every year that works as hard as Jacob Hudson does, like he obviously learned from Pelche, and he brought it into this team. If we can get someone that steps in next year and works as hard as Jacob Hudson does, we're going to be fine.
I believe the guy that's got the closest shot is 16, Langlois.
Yeah.
If there's a guy that learned from that group last year, learned from Jacob Hudson being on his line, he would be one of them.
A prime example. So yeah, that's if there's a player that deserves to maybe wear a C next year, I think it might be him. But there's going to be other candidates. But yeah, like I said, if there's, we still have the Sea Dogs game to talk about. Yeah. It's not really much to talk about.
No,
if there's anything, obviously the 20-year-olds were going to be the 3 stars. That was obvious.
Obvious to everyone but one person in the building.
Yeah.
You said it though. Losing the way they did in double overtime, and they didn't show it, but from the announcers, Dakota Loncornish took a while to kind of collect himself, and obviously, he made an unbelievable save on a 2-on, I guess it was a 2-on-1 that turned into a guy right in front of the net. It's just, I joked to you, I can't remember one of the games. We were robbed of seeing our full potential last year with COVID. And just due to injuries, we were robbed of seeing this team's full potential again this year.
Yeah.
You'd said to Chris and I in our message group, like 6 injuries this team was overcoming. The 7th one, which was a 20-year-old defenseman, just the hill was too much to climb.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't. I thought last night was going to get ugly. Up 3-0. It just didn't look like Moncton had anything left in the tank. Arguably, you would expect that. Playing the night before, getting in at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, whatever time you get home from Bathurst.
Right.
Thank God it wasn't at 2 p.m. But like we've seen night after night after night with this hockey club, they just got one goal. They started chipping away. And again, one goal away from being provincial silver medalists. So, it's just, I don't know. We 3-4 weeks ago, we kind of said this should be Philion's net. He's your future ride or die with him. And, Dakota Lund Cornish did everything in his power. He saved his best for last. He was unbelievable. Back-to-back Q saves of the night. Granted, we were the only game playing. Back-to-back Q saves of the night. There's nothing more you can say about him. He did everything that we needed him to do.
Yeah, I want to address that. I've been tough on him.
Yep.
I've been very tough on him. And not to, when did I say, I was talking about him probably 3 weeks ago.
Just before the playoffs started.
Yeah. And I maybe he listens, maybe he doesn't. But it just seemed that he began to play much better after we spoke bad things about him.
Not him as a person.
As a player.
The product on the ice.
That's correct.
Yes.
The on-ice performance. Yes. So, obviously, we're not going to sit here and say it's because of us, but it was he really stepped up his game. Like, he was the 20-year-old goaltender that you need to have, show up every night if you want to have a chance to win, and he did the job. I thought maybe with Sunday's game not meaning anything in the standings, maybe it would be a Philly start, but why start a goalie, your 16-year-old, when it's your 20-year-old goalie's last game in the league?
I worried at 3 goals on 9 shots. How do you pull your 20-year-old?
That's another
when
thing.
He had you couldn't have faulted him for having nothing left. And I looked at Layla and I'm like, this could get ugly, but how do you pull your 20-year-old in his final game after 3 goals on 9 shots? And credit him. I think he had 38 saves Saturday night, 40 saves last night. There was a couple games, I can't remember which ones, through the arm and tough bounces, but he just responded right back. It's like he had to let that first one in that was not very good, and then he was good. Then he get that one out of the way so it didn't cost us, and then you're good.
It's he rebounded, got into a groove. The team, I think, settled down. Yeah. It was obviously, I think their emotions were still kind of in the back of their minds after the loss up in Bathurst, and I think it kind of just clicked in that, oh shit, we have a game to play. And they got it going, right?
Yeah.
They got it going. It was they could have, like you said, they could have just called it a day and just given up, but nope. It was they kept playing, and it's got the lead, and then it was just a back and forth game. It was crazy, and it just shows that the team doesn't quit. And it's, I think we've said thousands of times on the show, it doesn't matter if they lose by 9 goals, as long as they compete hard, we'd be happy. And just to think that this team, to say that this team succeeded expectations, they did so by a mile. And it was I think it starts behind the bench, and if this was a full season and the team finished where they did, at near 500, I think Dan Lacroix is a Coach of the Year candidate.
I still think he is, but I think Valdor and Rimouski and Jim Holton.
Mm-hmm.
Because Rimouski got the upset, I think that puts him. Had we gone and been provincial gold medalists and got to play Charlottetown, I have no doubt that it's not Dan Lacroix. But I think just Valdor's pretty strong. Charlottetown's obviously strong, and I think Rimouski having the team they had and upsetting Shawinigan, I think those would be your 3 Coach of the Year candidates.
Yeah, I just don't know if playoff performance has anything to do with who gets selected.
That's true.
So, I mean, Serge Bosley can go and, but no, if this was a full season and, the Wildcats had played 500 given, their injuries and the trades they've made and the players they lost, and I would seriously have Dan Lacroix as one of the 3 Coach of the Year candidates. I know next week we're going to preview next year's team as much as we can. But to think that, we still have him on the bench, fingers crossed, for the next, I think 2. I think he's locked in for another 2 years. Given he gets a better opportunity somewhere, fingers crossed. The outlook is very, very good. And we'll have all our injured guys back. Wow.
So our top 6 back.
Our top 6. It's just, it blows my mind that you had 6 guys out of the lineup that could literally form your top 2 lines.
Yep. And
they still managed to just
go 2 and 4 and be a post away.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
Just crazy. I don't think it's, if there's anyone out there that wants to take a dump on this team for any reason, come through me first, and then we'll chat.
100%. He's tougher than I am, so once you get through him, I'll take the scraps.
I go to the gym.
All right, we got a special guest, so let's get to that.
View from the other bench.
All right, our second last show, we couldn't have him on for the playoff preview, so we brought him in to recap the round robin. We figured we'd bring in Johnny Rocket from Zulurut Junior.
The what?
Yeah, whatever. Jonathan Waugh. Sir, how you doing?
Pretty good yourself.
Well, I was doing good until I butchered that.
That was actually not that bad.
Just ask him who Jason is.
Who's Jason?
Jason.
You got a third member?
Yeah, the third member of the team, yes.
Have you calmed down since Saturday? I talked to you. You're having a few heart attacks. How you doing?
About 5, I think, during the game. So I mean, everything. The dust came down, and I'm pretty happy that we're moving on. But to be honest with you, as much I was like, oh man, 6 games still against Moncton, against St. John is gonna suck. But that round robin thing was a heck of a ride, to be honest with you. So I'm happy it's over because we won, but it was kind of nice. But now we won't see any hockey up until next year, so that's the sad part.
Yeah. I mean, you'll see some on TV, but you won't actually get to see any.
It's not the same.
No.
It's not.
How is the atmosphere in Bathurst and around? Like you said, it's the same teams over and over. Did it feel different? Did it feel like a regular playoff atmosphere in the rink?
I'd say like the first maybe like 2-3. Well, the first 2 games in Bathurst, it was all right. I mean, they were not sold out crowds.
Yeah.
Like
COVID sellout.
Exactly, like 1,300, I think. But the last 2 games, like both in the overtimes, were amazing. I can only imagine the game that we won against you guys.
Mm-hmm.
If it was a real sellout crowd, man, the roof would have like just blown away. It was crazy. Right. When Allison scored a goal, man, I think I jumped like 5 feet high in the sky, and I'm 6'6", so that's pretty high.
Well, I think that was probably the same for us when Richard scored in when Bathurst,
Wednesday night
Wednesday night game when Bathurst just decided to play for overtime with a minute and a half left. But that was, like you said, man. This was the craziest playoff, whatever you want to call it, that I can remember. It's just because if you think of it, like if things would have stayed the way they were, and we would have had this Atlantic bubble for May the 3rd, and we would have had Moncton going to Cape Breton to play a one game, and then the winner playing Halifax. Look at where Nova Scotia is right now, and would have said that would have been completely shut down. And then all of a sudden, Moncton's moving on to play Charlottetown. So, I mean, I think maybe Gilles Courteau rubbed his nuts with the, the magic crystal 8 ball, and saw that Nova Scotia was going to hit the fan. So, to think they came up with this sort of concept it was great. Like, it's not something I want to see every year.
No.
But just given the circumstances, I was a huge fan of it. Not just because of how, Jamie Tozer says the Wildcats are wildcatting, but just how they performed and managed to just to compete with Bathurst and St. John. What's going on with this series against Charlottetown? What's the latest you're hearing on how that's going to go down?
I don't know if it's out yet. Maybe I'm going to put myself in trouble by saying that, but it's going to be played in Quebec.
As long as the news comes out by Wednesday, you're good, because this doesn't come on Wednesday.
So I still have 2 days.
Hashtag insider.
Yeah, so I guess that the PI health public thing didn't approve the Titan to go there and without the 14-day quarantine. So they're going to do that in Quebec. So basically, they don't have to quarantine once they get to Quebec, only when they come back.
That's not bad.
So, yeah. So, I mean, and from what I heard, it's starting on May 8th. So, which is Saturday, I think. So, yeah. That's the latest news, unless things change up until Wednesday. But that's what I heard from a pretty big source. Yeah.
Which is actually kind of funny, because if you looked at the Islanders, Facebook and Twitter today, they were telling fans, yeah, ticket pickup's going to be in a couple days here. Just hang tight. You'll get your tickets and you'll come watch the team. And that is no longer happening. There was no way that they were suddenly going to start allowing teams to come over to the island. And
and it's not only that the quarantine thing. I mean, but I know that Islanders finished first. I mean, obviously they would have home ice advantage, but you have advantage for the 3. I don't know if it's a 3 out of 5 or a 4 out of 7, but anyway, for the whole series, basically home ice advantage pretty much. You have fans in the building for every game. The Titan just came out of a nightmare round robin. Some suspended players, some injured players. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to give the Islanders that big of an advantage. I mean, obviously they will win unless the Titan are crazy good, which I'm not even expecting, but at least to give them a chance at competing. So I'm kind of happy that it's moving to Quebec. And hopefully that TVA Sports will actually show a few games. I mean, I'm maybe being a bit too optimistic, but because I think with New Lyon, it's a big mess every game, so I don't think we'll be able to see anything on New Lyon. But yeah, so that's where we're going from this point on, and I'm kind of happy that they will face Charlottetown. So just to see how good Charlottetown is, really. I mean, nothing against Cape Breton and Halifax, but I mean, it's
Cape Breton and Halifax.
Exactly. Yeah. So, yeah.
I think you guys have a pretty good shot, right? It's I think the competition that Charlottetown has faced, might give you guys a bit of an edge in the first couple games. I'm not going to come out and say that Bathurst is going to win the series or anything like that, but
no.
I think the competition the difference in competition will be somewhat of a factor in the first game or two.
Yeah,
I would be happy with one win, to be honest with you. I mean, just one win, that would be more than happy.
That sounds familiar, eh? We're getting to playoff series. We just want one win. That's all we're looking for. Just
playoffs?
Playoffs?
Are you kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
we had kind of talked about earlier. when it was going to be an Atlantic bubble, we might get to play Cape Breton without playing them at all during the season. You guys played Charlottetown once, 4-2 loss, but the teams are completely different. You touched on a little bit. Your favorite goalie now, Jan Bednar. I mean, him and Arsenault were kind of going back and forth, and I remember messaging Briar like, why is Arsenault starting in the playoffs? Well, he was like 5-1 against St. John's, so they were kind of playing the matchups. But I mean, Bednar back-to-back 40 saves efforts. How good does he have to be for you guys to steal this series?
Well, he has to be Creed Jones 2.0.
Yeah,
it's pretty simple. I mean, he has to at least like steal one game, at least one.
Yep.
And God knows what happened after that with the momentum. And because, like you said, the only game we played this year, Bednar was not here. Jackson Bellamy was not here. Jacob Melanson was not here. I mean, these guys are three big pieces. Obviously, Melanson will actually miss the first two games because he's suspended. But it's a totally different team from at the beginning of the year. We have a legit number one goalie now. Yeah, Arsenault did some miracles before Christmas, but in my mind, he was never really a number one goalie. I mean, we have to be realistic, but now we have one, and I'm pretty sure that we can actually give Charlottetown a little ride. Like I said, I don't think we'll win, but I don't think we'll get like shut down in 3 games, like 7-1, 6-0, and stuff like that. So, yeah.
I would, if I was to venture a guess, the makeup of this series, I think Bathurst has got to stay disciplined.
I know.
They've taken Melanson is getting quite a reputation as, he's now suspended twice in one playoff series. He's at 3 games now, and it's just Jackson Bellamy. I don't want to say gets away with things because he's Jackson Bellamy, but he's on the edge, we'll say.
Jackson the Bully?
That's what you called him, Jackson the Bully, yeah. I think this team, they've got to stay disciplined, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's the main key but we're kind of good in PK. I mean, we're probably the top team that this year got the most PK goals. Marquette already has 2 in the 6-game round robin, but still, I mean, it's not PK. I mean, it's 5 minutes penalties. We gave 2 to St. John the last game. It can't happen again. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
We touched on this a little early in the show. We'll just change the topic because obviously I'll get pissed off if we keep talking about more playoffs.
He's handling it well.
Yeah, we talked about next year's Memorial Cup. What's your who's your guess on host or next year's Memorial Cup?
Obviously, I would love St. John because I could actually go. But I don't think St. John will actually be candidate. I don't know why. I mean, there's an article that came out last week about that, and I think, I'm looking at my crystal ball. I think that this summer, St. John will have
some changes,
a few tweaks.
All right.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah.
Just don't trade them any of them to Moncton. You don't need them.
Well, yeah, no. I mean, I don't want to talk bad about St. John, but there's a saying in French that, basically, I can say that in English. There's too many foremen, not enough workers in that team. So things has to change in St. John if you think of going next year. It won't happen with the guy that they have right now. So anyway, so Quebec would obviously be the top candidate, but I think Shawinigan would be nice again.
Now, just so you know, ladies and gentlemen, we did not discuss this together as the 3 of us before we got on here.
Oh, yeah, she talked about that?
Oh, yeah, that was our quick question, and you just nailed all the teams that that we thought about.
Because, Shawinigan this year is a really big disappointment. Obviously, nobody thought that Rimouski would win over them.
Yeah.
But I think that it will be a big kick in the ass for them. And next year, they will obviously go all in. It was already planned out for like 3 years now. So why not Shawinigan?
Yeah, that's what I said. I would I would love to go back there for the Memorial Cup because I had the greatest 10 days of my life.
he's still hungover from it.
Very very much. I threw out Charlottetown as a dark horse.
Oh,
Yeah, because they've
okay.
never been to the league finals. So for them to automatically get a bid to the Memorial Cup would be something else. And
Okay.
it's end of May is that's almost prime time. That's when like all the shops at the downtown waterfront and
That's close to home week, isn't it?
Yeah, something like
It's
that.
something like that.
So all the little shops in downtown open up. You're gonna get the waterfront opens up. You can literally everything is within walking distance, right?
Okay, nice.
You at the Delta is like right there in the waterfront. It's prime.
Yeah.
It's prime, and then you just get everybody there, and you find a trivia night, and you bring back the hashtag Will Report to Bay Camo trivia team.
They could host all their parties in the horse racing
There you
arena,
go. Yeah,
right?
yeah, perfect.
Keep it all right there.
You can literally, it's a perfect
yeah,
setup. Like the
yeah.
parking lot is huge. There's a casino. Who wouldn't want to go party at the casino every night?
How's the arena compared to Shawinigan's?
Well, let's just say I do prefer the Shawinigan Arena.
Yeah, okay.
Because as we've joked a couple times with Aiden on the show is when you go to get something to drink on the mezzanine in Charlottetown, you have to get your hand stamped. So that's a little different, and you can't walk around.
Yeah.
It's literally you get to a point where you're stopped, and it's all of a sudden the locker room and it's blocked off.
Yeah.
So that's when they come and make a decision on host. I mean, obviously, stuff like that comes into play, and you don't want the mezzanine to be too cramped because technically there's still going to be COVID around in May of 2022. Hopefully not a lot. But it's always something that you're gonna have to worry about. But yeah, Charlottetown was kind of a dark horse for me just because they're going to have the team. And all they'll need to do really is get a goaltender because, like I said earlier, Gooby is basically Gooby. Like he's
a good goaltender, but he's not a Memorial Cup goaltender.
He's not exactly.
Yeah. I throw out Blainville, or I wondered if Gatineau was maybe just a year too late.
I think if it was like that discussion would happen next year, Gatineau would be like obviously the number one runner in my book.
Yeah,
the brand new arena, a team at the top of the top, pretty much. So yeah.
All right, well,
but anywhere in the Maritime would be nice because obviously we could easily go, but
I tend to agree with you. I think Charlottetown is just kind of in that weird. What do we do now?
Yeah.
2 years ago, it was we're gearing to the 2022 Memorial Cup, and now it's we don't quite have. And when you're hosting, it's easy to load up because you're going to give everything away to get what you want. We don't want to let you get out of here without talking nice about the Wildcats. You said you had some nice things to say. You saw them 2 times up there, or 3 times, I guess it would be. So, they're a young team. They fought tooth and nail, climbed 6 injuries. I joked we didn't get to see our full potential last year. But we didn't get to see our full potential this year with all the injuries. So, you guys survived them. Just your thoughts on what this team is.
Well, honestly, for all your listeners and the Moncton Wildcats fan, you guys should and I hope are proud of your team because at the beginning of the year, if you would have said to anyone, we will go in the round robin, well, pretty much everybody would be like, what, the round robin? What the heck is that? But and win actually games against Bathurst, against St. John, nobody would have said sure, it's going to happen. But plus, without that, the list is going on and on, obviously. You guys were amazing. And the future is bright. Obviously, in defense, other than De Jong, everybody is coming back.
Yep.
So, which is a big thing for you guys. Plus, maybe you'll get a certain Jake Furlong. Jake Furlong? No, is it Jake? Jack?
I don't know. You're breaking news to us.
Do you mean because Furlong plays for the Mooseheads?
No, sorry,
Hopkins.
Sorry.
Okay.
No,
yeah, well, I'm not. I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not...
sorry. No breaking news there. Sorry. Yeah.
I was like, what the heck is he talking about?
It doesn't take much it takes a lot for Jeremy not to be surprised. And if you're watching on YouTube, our eyes went huge.
Yeah. Coming. Obviously, it's going to be a big add-on at your defense.
Yeah.
And but I have 2 big crush on 2 players that you guys have. First of all, Thomas Darcy. He's going to be something.
Yeah.
The guy is already a leader. He's playing on the top power, obviously on the top power play without Dowd name it. But he's already confident at the blue line, and he has a really big shot. So I really like that guy, and I really like Alexis Daniel.
Yeah,
He's not that big of a guy, but he's always playing 100%. I don't know. I just really enjoyed watching him. Obviously, there's Owen Stammer. He's like, I don't know why, but I call him Owen the Hammer. But I guess Amel is
the hammer. Yeah,
yeah. So Owen the Hammer Stammer. And as for Filion, obviously, I mean, he's gonna be elite. Maybe not next year. He's gonna be really good, but in 2 years, he's gonna be an elite goaltender. He's so relaxed in net.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 16 years old. That's crazy to see that. I mean, I rarely see that from like a 16-year-old goalie. So you guys are we'll be pretty happy in the next few years for sure. But just to finish, the moment at the end when the Titan actually scored in the second overtime, the moment that happened on the ice was probably the best moment I've seen in my whole life. So basically, the Titan just moved at the blue line, and MacArthur looked at the ref, and he shook his hand, and the ref said no. And the Moncton Wildcats guy just turned around, and they all merged together.
Oh, really?
High five, like hugging each other. I mean, I almost went to tears.
I didn't know that the ref said no.
No, yeah, Brad Mills said no.
Shocking.
He was like, he did kind of a no movement. So, and then MacArthur turned around, and once the guy from the Moncton Wildcats actually turned around, they just merged together, and the ref just didn't do anything, obviously. So that was such a good moment. Durocher actually went to the dressing room, came back, and he talked to Hudson for a few seconds. I don't know what he said, but Hudson had a big smile on his face, given that his career was basically done in the queue. So that was a really, really nice moment. And like I said to you guys are set up for what is coming in the near future. And that's without Loshing, that's without Labelle, that will all
so
be back
a top 6.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And just a quick question.
Sure.
Do you think Dahu will be back next year as a 20-year-old?
Ask me again in a month.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Ask me again the night before the draft.
I kind of think he will be, and he'll leave at Christmas. Is my
like
thought.
Fortier pretty much.
Yeah, like Fortier and Spence. I don't think he'll be dealt like Pelche was, but I think he'll be here till Christmas at least.
Ask me again the day before the draft. I'll have an answer for you.
Perfect. All right.
Before we let you get out of here, if fans want to stay tuned to Bathurst and how that series is going, where do they find you if they can speak French? Because I watched your lives and I couldn't understand it, but I was watching them.
Sorry, bud. So Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Sur la Route Junior. Everything is Sur la Route Junior. We're on YouTube. All the videos are coming out on Tuesday and Wednesdays. So just come into the ride, and we're still going to do shows for about a month and a half, up until the President Cup is won. And after that, we'll leave for until mid-August, hopefully mid-August. Hopefully not later like this year.
So you're covering the whole tournament, the whole playoffs, everything? Yeah. All right. And you're doing the draft too, right?
Yeah, we will do. Well, obviously, I'm thinking I'm going to do like a live like I did last year for the first round.
Okay.
I'm looking for a scout or two to join and just chit chat.
He'll join. He'll join.
I'm not a scout. I'm a critic.
You could join on there, and
I could be the translator.
Yeah. You could be the translator or the Moncton. You could be the Moncton view on his live, right?
This is on the road to junior.
All right, buddy. You have a good night and enjoy the rest of your playoffs.
Well, thank you very much, guys, and see you all next year.
For sure,
man.
All right, see you, bud.
No, it's for the stick tap of the week.
What a gem that guy is.
He's slowly creeping up to being the most
guest,
highest guest. Jamie Tozer, I think, might have one up on him.
Yeah, Jamie Tozer, and then Pat McNeil's now bronze medalist.
That's right.
For going medalist, Pat's the third.
Aiden's kind of sitting in fourth place right now.
Yeah,
and was it Richie? Richie's probably in fifth or sixth.
Yeah, and we're hoping to have him on near the draft, so he'll creep up into the top of the list. So it's a pretty good little core group we've got going.
Yeah, we were developing a good base.
Yeah.
of supporters, and
Yeah.
we want to get that list to grow. So if you're into the junior hockey and you like to talk and you'd like to be on our show, please
Hit our DMs.
DM us, and we'll make some plans, especially for our if you are in fact a scout
Ooh,
and would like to join us for our draft special.
Yeah.
That would be even better. So any Q Scouts or Team Scouts or hockeyprospects.com or ISS, Neutral Zone, all the scouting agencies out there. If you're willing to come on for a draft episode, I don't think Adam would say no to that.
He sure wouldn't.
And I wouldn't. I myself would not say no to that.
Absolutely. Let's get to everyone's favorite part of the show.
Eric Murray Realty. Buy a house from him.
Stick tap of the week.
So the past few weeks, unbeknownst to a lot of our listeners and attendees of the Moncton Wildcats hockey games, Adam and I have been sending requests for songs to be played at the games. So if you suddenly heard a Spice Girls song or a Backstreet Boys song
Or Britney Spears.
or an NSYNC song, that is us, and that is thanks to us.
Or the one that from the 06 playoff run that you
Oh
had
yes,
on there.
the Roy Jones can't be touched. That was played on Sunday. So that was compliments of myself and Adam, but it wouldn't have happened without the musical stylings of DJ Tyler Mason. So I would like to give the stick tap of the week. It was going to be last week, but of course I was non-COVID related under the weather. I was going to give it to DJ Tyler Mason last week, but I had to wait till this week. But which is good because we went 3 for 3 on
4
Sunday.
for 4
that's
the
right. 4 for
overtime.
4. We did. We got our Circus by Britney Spears.
Yeah.
We got our
Rollin'
by Limp Bizkit. We got the what was my third one that I sent
Roy
you?
Jones.
The Can't Be Touched, and then we had the Thanks for the Memories by the Fall Out Boy. So we went 4 for 4 at the game Sunday. All thanks to you, Mr. DJ Tyler Mason. So thank you so much, and we hope to have you back on the ones and twos, as the kids say, next season, so we can continue this.
And what's funny is it
tradition.
started with you, actually, the Wildcats tweeting, if you want to hear a song, tweet your tune. Well, Jeremy did it. They never played it, so
we climbed
Tyler,
the ladder. We escalated.
Yeah, Tyler follows us on Instagram. We follow him, so I was like, you know what? Let's just Instagram this and see. And sure enough, night after night, I think we were the only ones that did it. So it's all brought to you by this guy, and don't expect that to be to go away anytime soon. Maybe that'll be part of our trivia. You know, if you hear a certain song at a certain time, you got to tell us when you heard it in the game.
Yeah.
If we do something next year,
a song that doesn't fit into a 2021-2022 hockey game, it's probably coming from one of us.
Yeah.
So that could be a very good trivia question for next season.
And I will say, come on Barbie, let's go party for Barberchef's goal.
Pretty good.
I think that was really good. Honor stick tap from last week. I'm just going to let everyone know that the foundation that Layla is running, Big Hearts Little Stars, looking for donations to the comfort boxes, is now up and running. You can find the link on our Instagram, Wildcast Podcast. Just click on the link there. It's friendsfoundation.aka.raisin.com/UI/comfort box campaign. But just go to our Instagram, hit the link there, and it'll take you right to it. You can donate. She's one day up. She's looking for $7,500 as a goal for 100 comfort boxes, and she's at $853 after day one. So if you have time to donate, please go to our Instagram. You can follow her, Big Hearts Little Stars, on Instagram. You can follow her on Facebook, or just go to our Instagram page, Wildcast Podcast. Click on the link and donate if you're able.
The Stick Tap of the Week, sponsored by Eric Murray Real Estate with the RE/MAX Avante team. If you're looking to buy or sell a home in the Greater Moncton or surrounding area, make sure to check him out on social media or give him a call at 506-863-8802.
And that brings us to the Rosemary Lynn Massage Wildcast of the Week, the final Wildcast of the week. Rosemary Lynn's Massage is now open, located at 1224 Mountain Road, Unit 6, offering relaxing, therapeutic, deep tissue, mom-to-be, any kind of massages you're looking for. You can get appointments now. Call Nicole at 830-1224. As well, you can follow her on Facebook and Instagram. They got a promo right now. Last week I told you get 15% off just for calling. Have you called yet, Boucher? Have you called yet?
Sorry, I fell asleep there. No, I have not. I'm on vacation the week of May 24th to 28th. So I
that'll
am
be your
likely
week.
going to head on down there and enjoy my because I've went to get a massage. You literally don't want to do anything the rest of
Nope.
the day. You are set for bed.
Yep, that's why I get mine. I get mine done usually late at night, just before closing, and then I come home and I go right to bed. But they are running a promo right now for May 6th, 7th, and 8th. If you book a 60-minute massage, you get a complimentary scalp massage, a savings of $23. The best part, though, the deal just isn't for your mom. Mother's Day is this Sunday. Don't forget about mom. But the deal is for anybody. But book your mom a massage. Just do it. Just do it. Book your mom a massage. The final Wildcat of the week goes to a young player acquired early this year. I mean, he's I lost.
What can you say?
Yeah, I lost for words. It's a guy that just has come on. He's played the last 3 games with Hudson, Barbashev. He's found a nice little fit on that line. Played 5 points in the last 3 games. He was a QMJHL Player of the Week with 1 goal, 4 assists, including the game-winning goal last Wednesday. That was beautifully done with the Titanic music. And he's a guy that could be top 6 next season, depending who's coming back and who's coming in. But we've got tons of time to debate that. For now, your Wildcast Wildcat of the Week, presented by Rosemary Lynn's Massage, is number 9, Connor Richard. That'll do it for it. That'll do it for this week. Again, thanks for everyone joining us. It's been quite a year. We want to thank Johnny Rocket for joining us on the show today. We want to thank each and every one of you downloading the show on the podcast, watching along. Finally, as we got YouTube going, we can't thank you enough. You got one more weekend in you, hey? One more episode in you next week?
Yeah. We're going to preview the team for next year, which should be good. I mean, I can't see there being a lot of open spots, but it's going to be a battle. You got to look at some of the guys that came in this year as a first year player, like Gabriel Bernier. Is he someone did he show enough this year to be on the team as a 20-year-old next year? Someone like Owen Stammer, who, anytime you come in the league as an 18-year-old in your first year, you really have to prove that you belong, because once you get into your 19-year-old season, it starts to be a numbers game, especially on a rebuilding team. You're going to go with a younger player. So, like you said, with your Wildcat of the Week, Connor Richard, I think his play the past couple of weeks has really shown that he deserves to be here. We'll be like a worm in grade 12 biology class. We'll dissect this team next week and see if we can maybe put some pieces together and
put a final bow on everything.
Yeah, we'll have an 18th overall pick that we'll have to fit somewhere in the lineup. We'll have a probably
23rd,
a top 15 Euro pick.
Yeah,
that we'll have to fit somewhere in the lineup too. So
how are they going to figure that out?
I don't know. I think it comes down to what the OHL is going to do. Literally, they're going to do a lottery for the OHL draft, where it's every team's going to get 1 ball, and then they're going to draw balls, and the first ball that gets picked out is first overall pick, second is second, third is third, so on and so forth.
I hope the CHL doesn't do that for Euros.
No, they shouldn't. I mean, you're going to have...
we had a full season, WHL played.
Exactly. You'll have Q standings, and this year will be the Q's turn to have the first overall pick.
Yeah.
So it's Como
Yeah.
was last overall, so they'll have the first pick in the Euro draft. Moncton was because
they'll have to go winning percentage, because a lot of dub teams only played 24 games. So
exactly.
Go just put OHL every third.
Basically
give them every third pick and go off record.
And if it's literally a team that has, if it's an OHL team and they get the first overall pick, and they don't need to take a Euro, even better in our situation. I've been watching the under 18s. There's lots of really good talent there.
We can add that to the show next week.
Yeah, we can do that. So, if Moncton wants to make a splash with the Euro draft, you're probably going to want to take one of those players that are in this U18.
Yeah.
And so we'll find some spots, and we'll try to put together this lineup for next season.
All right. Well, that means I guess we should probably also get a guest for next week, because we usually end on a bang with a big guest. So we'll see what we can do there, and then we're going to take a bit of a break, and we'll be back at June getting you ready for the lead up to the 2021 QMJHL virtual draft, June 25th and 26th. As always, thanks for downloading the show. Thanks for joining us on YouTube. See you next week.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Wildcast podcast. Follow us on social media at Moncton Wildcast.